Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Max Merck here, and today I'm going to be talking about some advice for consumers on a used Mercedes C-Class. And I'm talking about 2008 through 2014 model years, because from first-hand experience, my parents own a 2008 C300 rear-wheel drive, and using that knowledge, I want to share some things that you guys would want to know when buying a car like that. So right now I'm on cars.com, and I'm going to be using this to look at some cars and talk about them throughout the video. So I'm going to go ahead and input what we're looking at, which is Mercedes C-Class. Max price, I'm not going to put a max price. I'm going to put it 50 miles from my location. Not too far, which is good. So, those are some nice C63s. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know why my computer's being moved. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. Okay, cars.com. Let's try this one more time. Okay, C-Class. There we go. So model years, I'm going to go ahead and input 2014, 2013, 2012, 11, 10, 9, and 8. So I'm going to apply. And more options. I'm going to go ahead and put photos. Only show cars with photos. And that's 350 matches. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the C63s. Actually, no, we'll leave the C63 there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's start out with lower priced cars. So I'm going to go ahead and put price lowest. And one more thing, I'm going to go change this to under 100,000 miles, because honestly nobody wants a car that's over 100,000 miles, unless, I mean, there's certain circumstances, but for a car that's 2008, that's a fairly new car. You don't want over 100,000 miles. So I'm going to go ahead in the settings or the preferences, and I'm going to put 100,000 or less. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And from 50 miles from my current location, there's 344 used Mercedes C-Classes. And now that includes C250s, C300s, C350s, and C63s. So I'm going to be starting out with some of the options and stuff. So right here is there's a 2008 C300 with 99,000 miles listed for $12,995, so $13,000. And for those of you who watch my videos, this car is really similar to the one I have. But one thing a lot of sellers will do is they'll have a luxury model Mercedes C-Class, and they'll put a sport grille on it, and they'll sell it as a sport. Now you don't want to get fooled by this, because from my other videos you can tell a luxury model normally from the factory comes with the luxury grille, and I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. Actually, I have it right here. Right on the screen. The luxury model, whoops, there we go. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. As you can see, these are two of the pre-facelift models, and it goes the same with the facelifted models. The one on the left is the sport model. The car on the right, which is like my car, that's not my car, but it's very similar, is the luxury model. And the differences in these two cars are kind of appearance, mostly. The car on the left has a more sport-tuned suspension, more sport-tuned steering wheel. It's a little bit lower of a ride height, not noticeable, and a more like comfort-oriented, cushy kind of feel. And not even cushy. It's still a sporty car. It's more comfort-oriented. While the sport version is still, they're very likely. I mean, they're very alike to each other. It's just small differences. While the sport one is more sport-oriented, just like their name, sport and luxury. And some of the differences between these two cars are the seats. For this car, for the sport model, it has a differently designed seat cushion, and they're exactly the same seats, but cushions are just, they look a little bit different. It's the same thing, comfort-wise and everything. And another thing is the steering wheel. The Sport has a 3-spoke steering wheel, and for the pre-facelifted models, which is 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011, keep in mind you do not get paddle shifters. No paddle shifters. Maybe on the C350, I don't know for sure, but for the C300, I know that you do not get paddle shifters. And as for 2012 and up, you do get paddle shifters as long as you don't have a beige interior. The only way you know if you have paddle shifters is if you have a flat bottom steering wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like once we move on to some of the newer model cars. And the flat bottom steering wheel equals paddle shifters. So the one way you can tell these two cars apart is if you notice this car right here, listed on cars.com. It is just like this car, except it has the grille of this car. So this is a luxury model, but it has a sport grille on it. And the differences are subtle. The differences are the wheels. And I don't have a picture of the wheels, but I'll show you it along the way. And another thing is the style of the bumper. If you look at the style of the bumper on this vehicle, this front air intake or front air vent slants downward. You know, it slants like a V, kind of a huge V, and it's a less aggressive style for the car. Whereas the Sport is shaped like this, more like an A, the letter A, and that's more aggressive. And besides from that, you can't really tell much of a difference. It's just the grille, this standing star emblem, this flat emblem, and those two can be changed out for each other, so that's how you can get fooled really easily. And in the back of the car, the Sport model has a little black diffuser right above the exhausts. It's not even a diffuser, it's just a black piece. And that's how you can distinguish. And the wheels. Other than that, there's really not much you can notice. So, all in all, don't get fooled. Know what you're buying. I mean, of course, you can have a Sport model with the luxury grille on it, and there's really no problem with that. You can always swap the grille out. But know the difference. If your car looks more like this, with this air vent facing downwards that way, it's the luxury model. If it faces that way, it's the Sport. And that's one way you won't get fooled. Now, another way you can know about the car, a little bit about the car, is the headlights. Headlights and taillights. You can tell if the car has Xenon headlights just by looking at the headlights. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look for another picture. You can tell right here from this car. If I zoom in on these headlights, this is for the pre-facelift model. You can tell right off the bat for the facelifted model if it has Xenons or not. For the cars with Xenon headlights, you can tell if they have it by this little painted piece right here, and that is a headlight washer. And another way you can tell is the main low beam is slightly bigger. You're gonna have to know a lot about these cars to be able to notice the difference, but the main difference is just this little washer panel. And another difference is the high beam, which is this section right here, is really wide, and it stands out on the halogen model. It stands out. And both these cars have projectors, Xenon or halogen. They're both projectors. And for the facelift model, be aware that for the facelift model, the headlights, you either get Xenon or halogen. Xenons are projectors, and the halogens are reflector halogens. So just know that. And another way you can tell is by the high beams. On the models with the Xenon headlights, with the lighting package, the high beam is a little bit rounder, smaller, and it looks more like BMW angel eyes. in my opinion. They're not angel eyes, but it looks like that. As for this car, it blends in more. I mean, it stands out because it's really shiny. And if you search up on the internet, W204 Xenon headlights, Xenon halogen lights, and you put them side to side, you can tell which one's which. And aside from that, moving on, from the back of the car, you can tell if it also has Xenon headlights by looking at these taillights. If I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture. W204. For the pre-facelift model, you can tell that it has the Xenon headlights by looking at the taillights, and this excludes C63s. C63s have this kind of taillight no matter what. This is a really low quality picture. I'm going to go get another one. If I can find one. Okay, here's one. Perfect. Nice picture. This picture, you can tell that this car has little LED diodes inside of here. And it looks a little more modern, high-tech. And that way, this little turn signal is LED, and that way you know that this car has Xenon headlights, with the exception of the C63. For the C63, you have to look at the headlights themselves. And if it doesn't, if it's just straight white, and you can kind of see the little orange bulb inside, the car does not have Xenons. It has the halogens. And for the facelifted model, you only get the LED taillights, which is what I have on my car, which I've made a video on that actually. You get these LED taillights. Standard, you can't tell the difference between xenons and halogens. And moving on, what else you can tell from a car? If it has a black roof, chances are, unless the previous owner wrapped the roof or painted it, 99% of the time, if you look at a black roof on a C-Class, on a W204, it has a panoramic roof. And you can always verify that by looking at pictures or seeing if it has the lines on the side of the roof. I'm going to look for a car that has panoramic, and we'll go over that. And once you get inside of the car, you can tell if the car has heated seats, if it has navigation, straight from looking at it. This car right here, you can tell, maybe there's a better picture, you can tell that it has heated seats by these two buttons right above the dual zone climate control. These two buttons, that's heated seats. And then if it has a little center stack right here of four more buttons, and one right in the middle, that is for the rear window sunshade. And that means the car's premium 2 package, and that's good. You want that. And if hold on a minute, if the screen looks like this, the car does not have navigation. This is a static screen, it does not have navigation, but for cars that do have navigation, you can tell by a screen that actually pops out, and it's probably twice the size of this. Maybe it's in one of my YouTube videos, I'm not positive. But we'll find a car with that. You can also tell if it has wood trim, aluminum trim, and one thing that doesn't really mean anything, it's not important, but the 2008 model year does have power folding mirrors, and the 2009 and up model years do not have that. So if you want to keep that in mind, that's just one thing. So here's the static non-navigation screen. Personally, I don't like it one bit. I like the one with the navigation because it's very Audi-like. It actually pops out. I'll show that. These are the wheels. You want to make sure your wheels aren't curved. Nobody likes curved wheels unless you're going to swap them out. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. And the rest of these are C300 Sports. And right here is a 2011 model year. You can tell, I'm going to go over the differences between model years. You can always tell the difference of a model year for the C-Class. You can tell that this one is a 2011 because it has this little LED strip down here. only the 2011 model year has that strip. And the 2011 model year has a black housing for the headlights. If it has a black housing for the headlights, it does not have xenon headlights. It only has halogen. If it has a silver housing for the headlight and it has this LED strip, then the car does have the xenon headlights. And that only applies to the sport model. If it's the luxury model, as I went over earlier, it doesn't matter what color the housing is. It's always going to be silver on the luxury model. And another way to find out the year is if you look at this mirror. Sorry for that. If you look at this mirror, it has the little arrow as the turn signal. That means it's either a 2010 or a 2011 model year. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what the previous model years look like. Right here. Right here is a 2009. 2008 and 2009 model years have, I didn't want the Carfax. Okay, come on. Come on. Here we go. The 2009 model year has, let me find a nice picture. And before, I don't want to get off topic, but the sport model has this little black piece. It's like a little faux diffuser. And the sport doesn't. That's the same. It really doesn't matter. Back to what I was saying about the mirrors. As you can see, this one doesn't have navigation either, but it does have heated seats. Okay, right here. So you can't really see it that well, but if it has this kind of mirror, it's a little bit of a bigger mirror, and it has this big white piece. Actually, I have a picture right here. This mirror right here. That means it's a 2008 or 2009. If it has that white piece. That's the turn signal. Moving on. What else do we have? This is the C350. This one's listed as $14,000. It has 73,000 miles. It's not bad. The way I know that this is a C350 is that these wheels are only available for the pre-facelifted C350. These are AMG wheels. You can get AMG wheels on the C300, but they're 5-spoke. And this is the C350 is non-4MATIC. It's rear-wheel drive. And the C300 comes with rear-wheel drive or optional all-wheel drive. And just from me to you, owning a C300 that's rear-wheel drive, and I posted a video on it, on ice, the car does not perform well at all on ice, a rear-wheel drive C-Class. So if you live in a snowy, or a really, not even rainy, if you live in a snowy climate where you get a lot of snow, you do not want a rear-wheel drive C-Class. A 4MATIC, four-wheel drive C-Class, sure, but not a rear-wheel drive. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe this car has navigation. This is another picture of the mirrors. There we go, this car does have navigation. So the way you can tell that this car has navigation is from, hold on a minute, right here. You can see the screen. I don't know why. I don't like the new update to this Cars.com website. It makes things really hard. But is this screen? It's I believe it's an 8-inch or 7.5-inch screen that retracts automatically when you turn on the radio and goes back inside once it's off. But this means it has navigation, everything, and all C300s 2008 and up have Bluetooth standard. They have aux input standard, iPod standard, and I believe you do have the option for satellite radio. And that is that for the navigation on the C350. So moving on. Here's one car with a panoramic sunroof. Hold on a minute. As you can see, this car has a black roof. and that means it has panoramic sunroof. If I can get an inside picture of the car, I'll show you. This car has navigation as well. Seems like a nice car. I just don't like the aluminum trim. Alright. So here's a shot of the panoramic sunroof. They're dual panes. They're two pieces of glass for the front and back. The front opens and slides. The back is just a static window. It's just a static glass. And you do have a shade that automatically retracts. So going back. See what else I can come across. Here is another C300 luxury with the sport grille. So be careful for those. This is a nice little car right here. This guy has put an aftermarket grille, or I'm sorry, no, this is a stock grille. He's painted it black, left these chrome pieces on, and he's yellow tinted the fog lights. I don't like that personally, but I like what he's done with the grille. And he's put clear side markers. I have that on my car too. Some of you may have noticed that in the videos. I'm probably maybe I'll do a video on that later. But I love the clear side markers. And the reason I wanted to point out this car is that it has the Xenon headlights. The way you can tell is by the LED rear turn signals, and it has the windshield washer, and it also has the bigger low beam. And aside from that, inside the car, if you look at the center stack, it's a really low quality picture, so there's nothing I can do about that, I'm sorry. It does have heated seats, and in the middle it does have the button for the rear window shade. So this does have premium 2 package. This is a fully loaded car. This is the rear window shade. But it does not have navigation. Never mind, it's not a fully loaded car. So if you want one of these cars, if you want a pre-facelifted car, or even a facelifted car, you want navigation. It's a nice thing to have, unless you're somebody who gets Waze on their phone and just props it up, then you don't really need it. But for someone like me, I just like having navigation as an option. If I have the option, I like it. And you also want heated seats if you live in the north. And for the pre-facelift, it doesn't matter if you have Xenon or non-Xenon headlights because it has projectors, and that's fine. But as for the facelifted model, if you come across one with Xenons, it's a steal. Just get it. You won't regret having Xenons. They're adaptive Xenons. But if it's just the reflector halogens, that's fine too, really. Here's a 2012. It's really high mileage though, so I'm not going to go over that one. What else can we do? So I believe we've gone over pretty much everything you need to know for the 2008s. Here's a 2011 with panoramic roof, $17,500 with 71,000 miles. It's a private seller too. That's a good thing. Here's another nice 2011. A lot of nice cars online. Honestly, myself, I don't like red on this car at all. I don't like red at all on a Mercedes. There's a few exceptions, but that's it. So maybe I'm going to look for some 2012s and 2013s. Here is another. No, never mind. That is a sport. Oh, I thought that was a luxury being with a sport grill on it, but not. It's not. So here is a 2012 C300. This is a high mileage car. That's 63,000 miles. It's a 2012. So you don't want a high mileage car. But this car, it has, well, it's a sport model. It has the LEDs. All the 2012 and up have the LEDs, so you don't have to worry about that. This car has an AMG wheels. It has the 7-spoke AMG wheels. These are optional. That's a nice It's a nice touch to the car. It does not have xenons, like I said. It has the reflectors. You can always buy aftermarket projector xenons. They're around $500. This car has the flat bottom steering wheel, which means that it does have paddle shifters. This car does have navigation, and for the 2012 and up, if it has navigation, it has a backup camera. For maybe the 2011 and 2010s have backup camera. I don't think they do, but I know for a fact 2012s do. Now, as you can see in the pictures, it shows this has navigation, and if it doesn't, you can go look at the screen, and if you look carefully, you can see it says Navi up on the top left, and that's your little indication. Now, one huge thing that you want to know about the facelift model for the 2012, 13, and 2014 models is that there is a significant... Oh, here's a coupe. That's a nice coupe. Pretty much everything I'm saying applies for the coupe too, so keep that in mind. One of the significant differences between the 2012 and the 2013 is that even though they're only 1 year apart and they're both the brand new facelifted model, both of those cars have different engines. And if you want a better car, get the 2013. If you have a 2012 at a lower price, go for it. But the 2012 has the same 3-liter V6 engine that pushes out 228 horsepower as the 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, and 2012 as well. The 2013 has a 3.5-liter V6, which is taken from the C350, and basically that's a detuned version of the C350, and it pushes out 248 horsepower, so it's a big substantial upgrade. The car burns fuel better, it's better for the environment, it's faster, it's more efficient, and the 2013 and 2014 models for the C300. Everything I'm saying about the engines does not apply for the C250. This is only for C300s. The C300 2013 and 2014 with the new engine has a start-stop feature, and I'm sure most of you know what that is. When you come to a stop, the car's engine will shut off to help save fuel, and as soon as you take your foot off the brake, the engine turns back on. And that's a nice feature to have. And I've pulled up this 2011 right here because it's a certified pre-owned, and that's nice. It's $21,000, and it has 38,000 miles. So this is a nice little car. It doesn't have the Xenon headlights, but it does have AMG wheels, and that's nice to have. It's a 2011, so it's a late model year for this car, but it doesn't have navigation. So it's really down to what you want. If you want navigation, if you don't want navigation, that's a huge factor. I mean, the color of the car, if you want panoramic sunroof or not. All these cars come standard with a sunroof, just a standard sunroof. But it's really up to you if you want panoramic or whatever else you want. Now this car is panoramic. As for the coupes go, let me show you this car. This is a 2012 C250. And engine-wise for the C250, I believe it's either a 1.8 liter or a 2 liter. I'm not positive. In fact, I can find out right now. It is a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder, and all of these cars have a 7-speed automatic transmission. It's really rare for one of these C-classes to have a manual transmission, and probably 1 out of 500 C-classes are manual in America. In Europe and Canada, sure, but in America, probably 1 out of 500 C-classes are manual, and that's only for well, actually, never mind what I just said. But this is the 250. This is a C250 coupe, and this car, like I said, has the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder, and this pushes about, I think, 180 horsepower. And don't be fooled by the numbers, because Mercedes usually underrates their cars' engines. I mean, I've driven one myself. I don't have my license, but I've driven one just around my little cul-de-sac and stuff. And my dad's driven one too. These are loaner cars from the dealerships, and it's still a peppy car. You know, it's a 4-cylinder. It only has 180 horsepower, but it still gets up and goes. It's a peppy car. I mean, it gets good fuel mileage. It doesn't have start-stop. Only the 3-liter, 3.5 liter does, but it's still a nice car. And it does have this one has navigation, backup camera, AMG wheels. It's a nice little car. All coupes, all C-Class coupes come standard with a panoramic sunroof. So be sure to have that in mind. These are the LED taillights. And one more thing, it's kind of a styling cue. The C250s only have a single exhaust. C300s and C350s have a dual exhaust. I've read on forums that people have installed quad exhausts or dual exhausts. That's completely feasible. You can get that done if you have a C250. You can pay a shop, or even do it yourself and get the quad tips installed or the dual tips. But stock it as a single tip. And honestly, I don't like it. I think it looks really asymmetrical, which I don't like for exhaust tips. And some of these C350s, the C-Class coupe only comes in C250 and C350 form. And I believe only the C350 comes with the 4MATIC option. And some of these C350s have the option for a dynamic handling package. And that offers, I think it's like an electronically variable suspension or something like that. And that's like a $2,000 option, maybe $1,000, I don't know. If you come across a car with that, it's a nice little option to have. But it's rare. You don't usually see those. This is the 1.8 liter straight 4-cylinder. And this is what the Xenon headlight looks like for the facelifted model. The difference in the facelifted model and the pre-facelifted model headlight shape is that if this was a pre-facelifted model, it would come straight down. It's kind of like a weird ovally shape. It's not an oval at all, but that's just my description for it. But this car kind of comes down a little bit like the old SL, kind of like that. You can tell the difference. And it has a little LED piece right here, and then the Xenons right here. These are adaptive. This is the Mercedes Intelligent Light System, and this is pretty rare on the facelifted C-Class. And it's definitely, if you see one with Xenon headlights, it's going to be a good car. You really want these, especially if you live in an area with dark roads. It's a great feature to have. So let's see what else we've got. As for styling goes, 2013s and 2014s, I'm going to go ahead and find a 2014 and 2013 side by side. No. Where are these? Here's a 2014 and here's a 2013. One thing you can distinguish these cars by is their grille. As you see right here, a 2013 has a silver grille. It's just silver and chrome, that's it. 2014 has a black and chrome grille. Now that is the only difference, appearance wise, that is the only difference, the grille. A black grille for the 2014, and this is only for sport models, this doesn't count for luxury. And for 2013 and 2012 and 2010, 2009, 2011, 2008, everything before 2014 has a silver and chrome grille, and then the 2014s have a black and chrome grille. So that's just a personal preference kind of thing. And the 2014 has the command system. The Mercedes navigation or radio interface is called command. So when I say command, I'm talking about the UI, the user interface for the radio navigation system. The 2014 has a different style. It's more of it's like an updated look. I mean, they function exactly the same. They look exactly the same, except the colors are a little more, it's like a refreshed design. I mean, everything is exactly the same except the actual like UI. Once you turn it on, it looks a little bit different because the screen is like a different contrast of colors, and that really means nothing. It shouldn't affect your purchasing decisions. It's just something to know. The more you know. And this car right here is listed as 26,000, and it has 66,500 miles, and it's a 2014, and that's a nice little deal. I mean, like I said, with the C-Class, it's really down to what you want. If you want navigation, that's going to bump your price up. If you want Xenon Headlights, that's going to bump your price up. If you want Panoramic Sunroof, that's going to bump your price up. And as for blind spot monitoring and stuff like that, and lane keeping assist and pre-safe brakes, all of that is for the 2012, 2013, and 2014 models. You cannot get blind spot monitoring called blind spot assist or lane keeping assist on the 2008, 2009, 2010, and 2011 model years. Only the 2012, 13, and 14. And moving on to the C63, I mean, basically everything I said applies to the C63. There's really not much to it. I mean, all the C63s have that are rear-wheel drive. You can't get a 4MATIC C63. They're all automatic, and you can come in. They can come in the C63 507 form or C63. The C63 507 is kind of like a special edition model for 2014, and that's about it. There's also a sport package like this car right here. It has the sport package. It has sport wheels. It has a black and red floor mats, a suede and leather interior, red seat belts. I mean, there's just options. You have to find the car that fits you. And I really hope this video helped you in your purchasing decision. And be sure to hit that like button if you want more videos to come on the E-Class, ML. I'm going to be doing stuff like that. And hopefully some car reviews of the car itself. And thanks for watching.